So this blurry image of a guy named Lance Stores. He's 49 years old, Lance Stores. Now I believe justice is eye for an eye, and an eye for an eye is actually a limiting principle. I mean, look at Israel and Gaza, right? So they don't believe in an eye for an eye. Israel believes that if you take out one eye, then they get to take out 300,000 eyes of children. So, you know, that's there was 1,200 versus 300,000. So that's more than an eye for 100 eyes. That's more like an eye for 150 eyes, 200 eyes. So this is Lance Stores, S-T-O-R-Z, 49 years of age. Now they tried to serve him with some sort of restraining order. I forget exactly. It just sounded like they were just trying to serve him some papers, and then it just bust out into, you know, a full-blown shootout. And then there's a canine. There's a canine that was shot, and then 3 police officers were killed. And they said that this was in Allen. Now later on they're going to say that he died in jail. Oh yeah, he died in jail, right? They said he committed suicide. Oh yeah. I mean, who's going to stand up for the guy that's just been accused of, you know, shooting and killing 3 police officers? Here you got a couple comments. He stabbed himself 5 times in the back and he threw himself down the 3rd floor. Well, that seems crazy. If you're going to kill yourself, I mean, you're going to stab yourself in the back 5 times and then throw yourself down a flight of steps. I mean, he must have really just wanted to menace himself. He apparently beat the shit out of himself before he did it. So you're not just, you know, taking a gun and then shooting yourself, but man, you're really doing yourself a number, right? You're kicking your own ass. The only gang allowed to retaliate, if you think this man killed himself, open your eyes. He didn't take his own life. We all know he didn't. This guy threw himself down the stairs 15 times. They beat the brakes off this dude. He killed 3 officers and a K9 was taken into custody. So what you're saying is, if we all get badges, we won't need judges. Yep, they killed him when you are in the Palace of Exiles. You're in a whole different world. He did not die of suicide. You know the police had something to do with his death. So there's interesting comments. Clearly the people of YouTube don't really think that this is as it seems. So it is kind of amazing that he was, you know, taken alive. So he had killed 3 police officers and then was arrested, you know, taken alive. That's pretty remarkable. Now, justice is eye for an eye, right? So, okay, so it was a restraining order. So they're trying to serve some legal papers. And how are they going about it, right? Are they being like violent, fucking crazy assholes? I'd like to see the video of all this stuff. But the only reason this isn't the main story. The main story I want to talk about was what had happened in the state of Washington. So this guy is Jesse Sari. Now, Jesse Sari's family is going to win, you know, $2 million. I think it was a $4 million settlement. So he got beat up. He got beat up and murdered. He's essentially homeless, and he was looking through some containers trying to find something to drink. And then when he was looking for something to drink, well, this guy that's got tattoos up and down his arms, well, he's going to, you know, kill this Jesse Sari. And it wasn't the first person that this police officer had killed. This guy right here. I mean, look at him. He looks like a nice, you know, gaunt and strong police officer. Nice, respectable person, right? Now, they said that they're going to... He got shot and killed because of disorderly conduct. So what was, you know, the initial reason for even going up to this guy? Well, it was, you know, disorderly conduct. He said Poopy Pooperstein or something, and that really pissed off the police officer. He was born in 1992, and he got killed in 2019, and so basically it just takes a few seconds to kill somebody, and then it takes 5 years to break the cover up. So everybody that was involved in this case, from the prosecutors to the investigators, you know, and fantastic job. They said that this was the first police officer in the state of Washington who has been put on trial. And, you know, I mean, look at his whole arm is just filled with tattoos. Does he have gangland tattoos? I mean, was this a gang, you know, thing? And the reason why I'm comparing this, you know, case, the reason why I'm comparing this case with that other case, Well, that wasn't the first guy that this guy had murdered. It wasn't the first time. He actually killed 3 other people. So, in some respects, if justice is eye for an eye, this guy's not getting capital punishment. He's getting 16 and a half years, which is remarkable in of itself. It's not equal and exact justice, but it is a kind of justice. Cops are, they kill people all over the place. And if it's justified, it's justified. I would think that a jury of your peers would be sympathetic to you. If a jury of your peers was sympathetic, you had to go to a dangerous situation and then it got out of hand, then I just believe that a jury would acquit you. But a jury took a look at the evidence and they didn't believe what this guy had to say. This wasn't the first person that he had murdered. So people are saying he's a serial killer, which in some respects, 3 people were killed. So that other case, right, it was 3 police officers. So clearly they're way better than, all the rest of us average plebes, just us regular average peasants, right? We're all just a bunch of nobodies. So whereas that guy, okay, he probably did get beat up by the police and killed in jail, right? That first guy that I forgot the guy's name, but there's a kind of justice to it, right? I mean, he was being served some legal papers, and it had something to do, I think it was a restraining order or something. So just being served some papers, and then all of a sudden you just fucking freak the fuck out. I mean, you didn't have to go do all that. You should just be, here's your papers. Thank you, sir. Let them drop the papers on the porch. Let them put the papers on the, front door or whatever. And then that's it. Why does it have to be like this big old shootout? So this is Jeffrey Nelson. Jeffrey Nelson was sentenced to 16 years for the murder of Jesse Sari. And I like this. I like this a lot because whenever you have a class of people who's untouchable, who's above the law, well, then you're just allowing these guys to do anything and everything. And then you want to know why people in America get radicalized? All you have to do is just peacefully do something. Oh, I was at the store, and then the cops raped me and beat me up and threw me in a trash can. Oh, yeah, they pummeled my face. What were you doing? Peacefully walking, not harming anybody. I was just sitting underneath a tree eating an apple. And then he said, boy, get over here. And then he murdered me, So whenever a police officer just does some crazy shit one fucking time, I mean, think about the people that they victimize. Look, if people are doing wrong, we want good police officers. But if they're doing bad, if the cops are doing bad, they need to be held to account just like anybody else. He does seem like he's got like a Darren Chauvin kind of like, man, what the hell is going on? But he's stone-faced throughout this entire proceedings. He's got, tattoos all over his chest. And there's nothing wrong with tattoos, but a lot of times if you look at the tattoos, it says that there's some gang affiliation. And so if there's gang affiliation, then, that's the worst case scenario. You get the Bloods and the Crips and the MS-13 and the Tren de Aragua, and then they infiltrate the police. So now the police, the Tren de Aragua, the Aragua, that Venezuelan drug gang, if one of them could become a police officer, if they could get friendly with the police officer, well, now they got unlimited authority. Now they have, the license to kill. They got the full power of the state. And so if they got the full power of the state, what good is that? We're just going to have a gangland nation, just a gangland of tribes, and everybody's going to do... I'm going to talk about this story later on. Indigenous-led nonprofit buys land and blocks the construction of an East Kentucky prison. Man, the Native Americans are just so damn good. Eastern Kentucky activist bought land where feds were wanting to build a prison. Desperately need this proposed Eastern Kentucky prison. Former Kentucky prison supervisor sentenced to 7 years for failing to stop inmate assault. No one thought they could shut this prison down. Can an interregional coalition do it again? They're talking about a new prison in Letcher County. Is this the same one in Letcher County? Because, Letcher County was where that one guy, that Steins had shot that judge, right? And what happened to that case? We're still figuring it out. We're still trying to do the discovery or something. We keep on doing continuances. And Stein, he shouldn't have, resigned his position. But if justice is eye for an eye, then, we could look away with that first thing. But when this police officer, he only got 16 years. So he didn't get equal and exact justice. No, did he?